Hi, this is the Crucible research project for our English 10 honors class. I am Riley Cleaver and I'm playing Ava.
I'm Michaela Wagner and I will be playing Carl Jacobs in our Crucible Challenge Mr. Beast video.
Hey guys, it's Jalen Poland and I am Mr. Beast.
Okay. Hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Beast here. And today we're doing the ultimate witch hunt challenge at 3 a.m. Yeah!
As you can see, it is 3 a.m. and we are terrified since we will be finding a witch tonight.
A real witch!
So, let's lay the scene. Many societal beliefs impacted why people like us would want to go on witch hunts. That's what we're doing right now. Especially, this was popular in Salem, Massachusetts in the early 1690s.
These societal impacts, causes, and situations that led to these witch trials include the fear of the devil in pre-modern Western society. There was a strong belief in the devil and his influence. Witches were believed to be in league with the devil, practicing malevolent sorcery. This fear drove many instances of witch trials in hope to protect themselves, their community, and their family. I learned this from Britannica.
3 a.m. guys. In the cemetery.
Another important societal pressure was several religious reasons. From the source Britannica, the combination of irrational fear and a persecuting mentality, often fueled by religious fervor, resulted in the rise of witch hunts.
And from thecollector.com, the last reason we'll mention how blaming others for being witches was an excellent way to turn the blame off someone else and onto the devil in tough times like economic drops or disease outbreaks. Societies tend to blame individuals or
You were mewing the whole time, Riley.
Was that real?
You're like,
or groups for their misfortunes as a way of coping with uncertainty and distress.
Several notable figures were some such as Matthew Hopkins, known as the Witch Finder General, conducted several witch hunts and was a religious leader. Between 1644 and 1646, he and his buddy John Stern convicted more than 300 individuals of being witches. Some notable things to mention was Hopkins' picking method. He believed that witches had secret marks on their body, like a devil's tattoo. So he'd poke them with needles or pins to find marks. I learned this from Salem.org.
the other main people involved were the jury members and the government. While these people may not have directly accused women of being witches, they permitted and encouraged a lot of this kind of behavior.
In addition, if you were labeled as a witch, you were now seen as an outcast in the community. And as someone who most likely worships the devil. Salem.org says that these witches were also supposedly had supernatural powers, and there would likely be the ones that were blamed if there was a drought or any sickness.
Okay, Feast Day, let's go find these witches. Sadly, we couldn't find a witch, but we found a clue. The witch's phone number. Oh! Let's call the witch instead. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, what's up?
Oh my gosh.
So we've called you to ask some questions for a video. Are you willing to answer?
You're...
What are some ways a witch hunt can be prevented?
Well, there are several ways actually, especially in the height of witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts during the early 1600s. One way could have been education and awareness, promoting education and critical thinking about the natural causes and misfortunes could have reduced the tendency to blame witchcraft. Another way would have been a more sensible legal system by encouraging the legal systems at the time to require concrete evidence from the accusers, so to not rely on solely hearsay. This was found the most important prevention tactic, and it would have been most likely religious tolerance. Encouraging this could have stopped hundreds of deaths and lessened the situation. This would have then tampered the fear and hate and anger being fueled witch hunts. I got this information from Briannica.com.
Thank you so much, Miss Witch.
You say sure, bud.
Yeah, sure, bud.
So we were wondering how the historical witch hunts are similar to the Holocaust.
According to History.com, both the Salem witch trials and segregation involved fear and prejudice against specific people, leading to persecution and marginalization.
Thank you so much, Miss Witch. I literally love you.
Could you please tell us more about the outcomes of the witch trials?
Yeah, so from the World History Encyclopedia, it claims 19 people were executed by hanging, 14 women and 5 men.
What?
One man pressed to death under torture device. They were hoping to break him and make him tell the community that he was a warlock. However, that obviously did not happen, and he was tortured to death. If they were not killed, many others were imprisoned and shunned from society and many communities. However, public opinion turned against the trials by September 1692. In addition, the Massachusetts General Court annulled guilty verdicts and granted indemnities to families.
Thank you so much, Miss Wish. Is there any way you can answer more of my questions?
Yeah, I'll answer one more.
Okay, so how do historians interpret the events of the Salem witch trials and witch hunts today?
Historians' explanations of why there was such a lapse in judgment and a rush to kill as many witches as possible included economic hardship, deliberate fraud and hysteria, mental illness, and and egotism. Several of these factors fed into the people's false ideas of why witches were among them. Seen as a cautionary tale about isolation, religious extremism, false accusation, and lapses in due process, warns people even now why it is important to not get swept in a tizzy over rumors and led astray from reason by one emotions. This can be found at historyjunkie.com.
Thank you so much, Miss Witch. That's all we have for you.
Oh yeah, of course, anytime.
Okay, guys.
On to the next challenge. Woo!
What's up, Feast Gang? We're here to ask communism's questions and trivia for a $3 million Cybertruck.
Guys, we reviewed the footage and it looks like we found a communist somewhere behind us.
Oh my gosh. Can we ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. First question. What is communism?
Britannica says communism is the ideology of having commandable control of production and its form of socialism.
That's correct. Okay. Second question. Where did communism come from?
I learned from education.org that it originated in West Europe. This was in the 1800s following the Industrial Revolution.
Also correct. Third question. This is a hard one. What was the Cold War and who was involved?
I read an article on Britannica that said the Cold War was a time of intense political ideology rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, along with their allies, from 1947 to 1991. It earned the name Cold War because it didn't involve direct military clashes between the two main adversaries. Instead, the conflict was marked by political maneuvering, economic competition, and propaganda efforts.
Correct again! Phew! Fourth question. What's the outcome of the Cold War?
The Cold War concluded with the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991, leading to the formation of 15 independent nations. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 symbolized the end of the East-West divide. Additionally, many Eastern European countries transitioned from communist rule to democratic governments. I also learned this from the previous article.
All right. Correct. Fifth and second to last question. What is the Communist Party?
I studied cpusa.org and learned that a political group that strives to achieve the goals of communism. These main goals would have been no private property, no economic classes, so there would have been no economic equality. And then by getting rid of private ownership, there would have been an end to exploitation of workers by capitalists.
All right. We have a special self-generated question. Who followed communism?
I learned on history.com that communism was practiced in China, Korea, Sudan, Cuba, and Nicaragua.
Whoa! All right, also correct. Okay, now the very last question. Bum, bum, bum. How did communism and the Cold War impact the lives of Americans? This will determine your chance of a $3 million Cybertruck.
Oh man, I'm scared. It affected America in a lot of ways. One way was the Red Scare. History.com states that this was a widespread fear of communism, which led to accusations and investigations, causing many to lose their job and face social exclusion. Another thing it led to was McCarthyism. Senator McCarthy, anti-communist campaign created a climate of fear and repression. In addition, it affected the civil rights movement as some leaders of the civil rights movement were accused of communist ties.
Yo.
This also impacted the movement. Lastly, it has a huge cultural impact. Anti-communist sentiments became deeply rooted in American culture, influencing attitudes towards socialism and communism.
Oh my God, good job. Those were all right. You get a $3 million Cybertruck. Let's go. Oh. Yo, it's a $3 million Cybertruck. Woo! What the heck? What's going on?
I
Stop
paused
it.
Okay, actually, hold on, let me see it.
Hills next to it.
I didn't even check about it. Okay, what else do I say? I say something. That's actually kind of funny. I have to remember. Where's the script at? You had it! Where's the script? In the bag? Okay. Yay! I'm gonna go overthrow capitalist systems now. Thanks, guys!
Have fun.
Whoop whoop! On to the next challenge.
Feast Gang. It's Feast Gang here, and we are so excited to do this brand new challenge. It's called The Purest Wins $1 million.
We'll be interviewing Puritans to see who is the purest. The loser, however, has a deadly consequence. Let's go!
I found two. Would you guys like to try this for $1 million? Sure, that's fine. Great. Okay, first question. What type of people first settled in Massachusetts? The first people who settled in Massachusetts were Puritans. This was a religious people who wanted to establish a community that represented their own values as
Christians, according to history.com. Your mom! Well, good job, Harry, but sorry, Ellen. It's unfortunately wrong. Harry is now in the lead with 1 point. Second question. What were the settlers' main fears and anxieties when first moving? So the French journalist of British Studies says that starvation, illnesses, loss of faith in youth, and the wilderness were huge fears. Fears. Nothing then was more terrifying than the fear of the unknown. To the Puritans, states Salem.org. Your mom. Right again, Harry. But Ellen, unfortunately, that is your second wrong answer.
What was Puritan lifestyle like? What was their beliefs?
Well, Britannica states that they lived in strict Christian lifestyles. However, due to living in constant fear, they took part in specific rituals, practices, and beliefs that were not necessarily in the Bible. They especially feared the forest as they saw it was the devil's habitat. Your mom.
Correct, Harry. But unfortunately, Ellen, the answer was just a little bit off.
The first Puritan settlers survived.
Well, they lived simple lifestyles. PBS says that the men often hunted and traded with one another as well as with nearby Native Americans. The women took care of the household as well as the children. In addition, the Puritans farmed any new crops as well engaged in fishing. Your mom.
Right again, Harry. But not quite, Ellen. Better luck next time.
Next question. What do you know about the Puritan social structure or hierarchies? On encyclopedia.com, there were 4 main aspects to the social structure as well as what type of hierarchy they had. These were simplicity and hard work because Puritans valued a simple, hardworking, and moral lifestyle. They were opposed to hierarchies because they opposed church hierarchies like bishops, community focused because Puritans aimed to reform individuals and societies based on the Bible, and lastly, church government, in order to build a church government modeled after our apostles. Your mom rules. Good job, Harry. But sorry, Ellen. That's just not correct. Alrighty, we have a self-generated question. What was the connection between the forest and Puritanism? You got this, Harry. It's all you. Puritans were deeply afraid of the forest due to being ambushed by Native Americans that they had trouble with. In addition, they viewed the forest as unholy. I got this from the English teacher, Miss Weber.
Okay, last question. What influences of the Puritans continue to exist today? Well, they have left a lasting impact on the importance of education and hard work, as these were seen as the most important values. In addition, the Salem witch trials are still talked about today as being a cautionary tale of believing rumors and being persuaded by fear. You can also find this on The History Junkie. Your mom.
Okay, ready?
Okay, 1, 2.
Well, Harry, it looks like you have just won the $1 million prize.
1 million!
And unfortunately, Ellen, we're gonna have to burn you alive.
All about McCarthyism. What was McCarthyism? Who was Joe McCarthy? According to Britannica, McCarthyism was a method of targeting specific individuals in the late 1940s to 1950s. Originally, the method was used when people thought foreign communists were coming to America and trying to convert people to communism. Joseph McCarthy was the Winston senator who ran investigations and hearings to try to pinpoint said individuals.
How is Arthur Miller connected to McCarthyism? The Free Speech Center says Arthur Miller wrote The Crucible, which describes how Miller didn't see the witch hunts started by Joseph McCarthy as important. How did McCarthyism change American lifestyle? Free Speech Center also includes that McCarthyism made people live in fear that anyone could be a communist because he accused many people without any evidence. What were his aims, methods, who were his victims? Eisenhower Presidential Library states that Joseph tried to accuse people of not being loyal to their country and being communist. He targeted those who were a part of the U.S. government and colleges. What is HUAC and blacklisting? Who were some of the people on the Hollywood blacklist? Truman Library claims that HUAC was a list that government officials were put on if they were recognized for having communist ties. According to Jacobin, Charlie Chaplin, Larry Sepler, and Dalton Trumbo were all on the Hollywood blacklist. Self-generated question. Why were U.S. government officials so against communism? National Archives states that Americans felt that their freedom would be threatened because the government has complete control over everything, including their way of living. That was all about McCarthyism.
Mr. Mackey!
Information about me that is on biography.com is that I created the Crucible. I am a Jewish man who went to the University of Michigan. I have worked odd jobs, and I was born October 17th, 1915 in Harlem, New York. I am very close to my mother as she loves reading and I love writing, television, film, theater, and dance. I wrote Death of the Salesman before The Crucible, which now considers me to be one of the greatest playwriters in America. Not to brag. In addition, I impacted America today in many ways. For starters, I refined modern tragedy with his unique play style. PBS.org states that I also had an impact on political relevance. My works address enduring themes like the American dream and justice. Not only that, but I changed the way people explore moral dilemmas of the American working class, making my characters' voices significant in the American culture. Lastly, I was married to Marilyn Monroe for 5 years up until she suddenly passed away.
Oh no! Carl, no! Carl, no! Carl, no!
Oh, I'm tired!
You're out!
Anymore.
You're out! No, Carl's out!
No! I hate Arthur Miller! I'm done.
You might be asking, what are some key events in my life? I would say some memorable events in my life were probably creating the award-winning play, The Crucible, winning an award in college for my first play titled No Villain, and marrying my beautiful ex-wife, Marilyn Monroe, because I helped her success. Oh, so you guys want to hear an overview of other works? Sure. So, The Crucible was my take on McCarthyism and the Salem witch trials.
Oh my gosh, Ava! You lost! You lost! You lost the challenge! No! Arthur, no! You pulled a zero! No! You lost! And you killed Arthur Miller!
Okay, anyway, my work, Death of the Salesman, was about a man's job that starts to decline as his past begins to catch up with him. On SparkNotes, it says that All My Sons is about a man who works at a shopping factory and ends up being charged with sending defective supplies to the people in World War II. What are my beliefs and political outlooks, including communist communistic connections? Well, you can see on Capitalist in Maine that I have a strong belief in expressing freely civil liberties and rights for all people. Sadly, I was believed to support communism by the state of New York when I went to renew my passport to go to Belgium. This was due to some petitions I signed 20 years beforehand. If I had to describe my arrangement by the House Un-American Activities Nay.gov says my arrangement lasted from 1956 to 1957. I had a conviction for not identifying writers. I would not identify them due to having communist sympathies. Later, my conviction had been appealed. Wow, you stayed so long! That's all. Good job, Mr. Feast. You won a brand new Tesla!
Mr. Feast! You won! You were the last to leave! I won! Yeah! You win a new Tesla! I won a new Tesla! And we get to kill Arthur! Yeah! Alright, come on! Let's go look at it! Let's go! Go! The Tesla's over here! It's over here! Yo! New Tesla! Yo! Mr. Feast busting it down in the Tesla. Whoop whoop. Thank you guys so much for watching our Mr. Beast parody. Now Mr. Feast Crucible challenge. We tried really hard on it.
Yeah, buy Feastables.
Yeah.
Buy the merch.
Yeah.
Get you a Beast Burger. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, support the channel.
Whoop whoop.
Yep.
Yep.
Have an amazing day. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment.
Smash that subscribe
Follow me on
button.
Instagram.
Smash that like button.
Smash it until
Yes.
it's crumbling down.
Smash
I'm
it.
telling you, smash that like button.
Yeah.
Smash it in the water.
Smash it
And if
stinky.
you liked what you saw today, subscribe.
Right now. Bah!
Wait. Oh shoot, I'm falling. Next question.
Good question. What were the settler? And you're serious.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.